We love better value at Dunnes Stores. Make a delicious steak dinner for two, starting with your choice from a fantastic selection of wine and champagne, like Whispering Angel and Moet et Chandon. Now 20% off. Then prepare two Board Bia quality assured Irish strip loin or ribeye steaks and skinny cut or chunky chips for just €9. Plus, you can save at the till with a 5 off 25 grocery voucher. Dunnes Stores. Always better value. Terms and conditions apply. Voucher can be used in next grocery shop for €25 or more. Voucher excludes alcohol. Please drink sensibly.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Home prices hit a new all-time high. We'll tell you where they're up the most, and Rebecca will break down what's behind the surge in prices nationwide.
We begin with Donald Trump's criminal trial now in its final phase. Closing arguments wrapped up last night, and in just hours, for the first time in our history, the fate of a former president will be in the hands of a jury. Aaron Katersky is at the courthouse. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, George. Jurors are on the cusp of deciding this historic case. They should have it by about lunchtime after the judge issues instructions to convict. The jury must find former President Donald Trump falsified business records to cover up a conspiracy to corrupt the 2016 election. Lengthy closing arguments kept the jurors here late and clashed on the facts.
In a 5-hour closing argument, prosecutors put former President Trump at the center of a, quote, conspiracy and a cover-up to suppress a story about sex with an adult film actress and to hoodwink the American voter before the 2016 election. It was, prosecutor Josh Steinglass said, the subversion of democracy. Steinglass said Trump devised this elaborate scheme where his fixer Michael Cohen paid Stormy Daniels $130,000 in hush money and Trump falsified business records to disguise his reimbursement payments to Cohen as legal expenses so voters would never know. The name of the game was concealment, Steinglass said, and all roads lead inescapably to the man who benefited most, the defendant, former President Donald Trump. Defense attorney Todd Blanche said it doesn't matter if there was a conspiracy to try and win an election. He said every campaign in this country is a conspiracy to help somebody win. The defense insisted this is an election. This is not a crime. Blanche asked the jury to return a very quick and easy not guilty verdict. A conviction, he said, would depend on the word of Michael Cohen, and Blanche called him the greatest liar of all time. Cohen testified he spoke directly with Trump some 20 times about the hush payment to Daniels. He lied to you repeatedly, Blanche said. He is biased and motivated to tell you a story that is not true. But prosecutors said Cohen wasn't authorized to buy lunch without the defendant's approval, and he expected to be paid back. So Steinglass said Cohen had 130,000 reasons to get the defendant's blessing. Prosecutors asked the jury to hold Trump accountable, come back in here and say guilty.
The jury of 5 women and 7 men is highly educated. There's a teacher, a speech therapist, a couple of lawyers and bankers. There are 2 immigrants, 2 native New Yorkers. They're all going to follow the instructions given by the judge. That should take about an hour or so. Then they're off to deliberate. And, George, while the judge is instructing the jury, no one is allowed to enter or leave the courtroom. George.
Okay, Aaron, thanks. Let's bring in our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. Many hours of closing arguments yesterday. Did any side have the edge?
I think both sides did what they needed to do, right? The defense started by trying to raise what's called reasonable doubt. They talked about Donald Trump's intent, lack thereof, to commit a crime. What did he actually know or not know? And then they focused a lot on Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen, Michael Cohen, Michael Cohen. Now, prosecutors came back and said, look, we don't even need Michael Cohen in our case. Look at the documentary evidence. Prosecutors trying to tell jurors, look at the big picture here. How else could this possibly have happened? What else could Donald Trump have possibly been doing except paying off Stormy Daniels in an effort to protect himself from the 2016 election ramifications?
So what happens with the jurors now once they get this charge from the judge?
Remember, in theory, these jurors have not spoken a word about this case up to this point, right? None of the jurors know what the others think. So typically in a case like this, I think what will happen is the first thing people will do when they get in there is be, what do you think? Take a straw poll. Where do you land? Now, those things can change in a lot of cases, but I think that'll be the first thing that'll happen is for the jurors to get a sense of, what do you think?
In the end, in order to get a conviction, they have to agree on 3 things, that the records were falsified, that Donald Trump had an intent to falsify the records, and that it was connected to the election in some way.
Right, in an effort to conceal another crime, because that was the way they got this to a felony, right? The misdemeanor here is the falsification of business records. The statute of limitations had expired on that. This is not one of those cases.
And they pretty much established that the records were falsified.
It seems fairly clear. But again, that's a situation where they couldn't try that case because of statute of limitations. That's why there won't be a lesser included offense with regard to that, neither side asked for.
Dan Abrams, thanks very much. Robin.
Okay, George, now the severe weather, including damaging winds and hail in the heartland and a flash flooding threat. Ginger, of course, is tracking that all for us. Good morning, Ginger.
Robin, so much to get to. 24 hours ago, we were showing you that line that blasted Dallas with the severe winds, 70 to 86 mile per hour gusts. Well, that line sunk toward Houston, and that is where this damage happened. Unfortunately, a construction worker, a 16-year-old boy, was inside and was killed when that house collapsed. So damaging winds is going to be a problem again today. We'll get to that. But first, at the height of the storm, more than 1 million customers without power still this morning, around 500,000. There are schools like the Irving, Texas public schools that are not going to be open because of all of the damage and because of the power outages. Today, it's all about the high plains up to Montana and North Dakota. Rapid City, you're in the damaging wind threat. Then the same spots getting hit again Thursday into Friday. Flash flooding a problem too, Michael.
All right, Ginger, thank you for that. And the severe weather also leaving many stuck in a travel mess. More than 1,000 flights were canceled yesterday, with flights in and out of Texas hit especially hard. Our transportation correspondent, Gio Benitez, is here tracking it all for us. Good morning, Gio.
Hey, Michael, good morning. Yeah, it's been a really rough couple of days for so many travelers, and all of it has a ripple effect for days across the country as passengers try to get on new flights. But just take a look at what happened in Dallas. This morning, incredible video showing the power of the winds at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. American Airlines saying several planes were impacted by gusts of up to 77 miles per hour. Surveillance video showing one plane pushed away from a gate by those wind gusts. Listen to the drama unfolding in air traffic control as the FAA evacuated 2 towers.
We can't see anybody. We lost our ground radar. We can't see anything out the windows. We're getting out of the tower. It sounds like a freight train up here right now.
American Airlines says the planes were not occupied and nobody was injured. The weather forcing travelers to stay put right after the record-breaking Memorial Day holiday. More than 1,100 flights canceled across the country, more than 7,300 delayed.
I may have to live out of my carry-on. I have an extra pair of socks in my carry-on.
And let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers right now, because we are still seeing some cancellations in America. Just over 200 flights canceled right now, 500 delayed. But that's actually more than what we saw at this time yesterday. So keep that in mind, because that weather moved in, those numbers quickly grew, and everything changed for so many travelers. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Gio. We're going to go overseas now to the latest on the war between Israel and Hamas. The first Israeli tanks rolled into the center of Rafah as the U.S. cautions Israel against escalating the operation. Foreign correspondent Britt Clennon is on the scene in Israel. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning, Georgia. The White House says U.S. policy is not changing despite Sunday's deadly strike at a refugee camp in Rafah. This as the Israeli military appears to be pushing on with its offensive there, with more attacks reported this morning. This morning, Israeli tanks reaching the heart of Rafah for the first time. Smoke billowing. A further attack in one Rafah neighborhood, killing at least 21 people, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. But Israel denying they are responsible for the strike in a humanitarian area in Al-Mawasi. The attacks steady since Sunday's devastating strike triggered a massive fire at a refugee camp there, killing 50 and injuring nearly 250. Dr. James Smith is working on the front lines in Rafah.
Every day we're seeing patients with mild, moderate and incredibly severe injuries, many of whom require referral to hospital for definitive care to save lives and to save limbs.
The international condemnation of the strike quick, coming just days after a UN court ordered Israel to immediately halt its operation in Rafah. Are you saying nothing went wrong operationally?
The attack per se was according to procedure. The reason for the casualties was the fire that broke out afterwards.
The IDF claiming it was the fire that broke out following the strike that caused mass civilian casualties, and that they're investigating what triggered that fire. The IDF saying the strike targeted 2 Hamas commanders. Meanwhile, the mass exodus of the formerly safe zone continues. According to UNRWA, 1 million people have been forced to flee Rafah in the past 3 weeks. Just over 200 aid trucks entered southern Gaza in that time. This as the US-built pier has ceased operation while it undergoes repairs, which are expected to take at least a week to complete. Arwa Diaf has already moved with her family 4 times since the start of the war.
Are we going to be next?
She shows me where her tent and bags are already packed, ready to go at any moment. Rafa is something that the Biden administration has been warning about for weeks. While condemning innocent lives lost, the White House stopping short of saying that this has crossed its red line. Robin?
So much concern, as you know, Britt. Thank you. Now, the deadly bank explosion in Ohio. Stephanie Ramos is on the scene in Youngstown, Ohio, with the latest on the investigation. Good morning to you, Stephanie.
Robin, good morning. The explosion happened at the building behind me. It blew glass and debris all over this area. Look at this mangled mess. That was a Chase Bank. Police say several injuries have been reported, including one death.
This morning, authorities are trying to figure out what caused an explosion in the middle of downtown Youngstown, Ohio.
I was coming down and I heard a huge explosion. I saw smoke.
The blast happened Tuesday afternoon at this 12-story apartment building that includes a Chase Bank on the street level. Emergency responders racing to the scene.
My firefighters went floor by floor, clearing that building to ensure that no one else was in that building and no one else was hurt.
Overnight, first responders were covering the body of a 27-year-old man who worked at the Chase Bank. Police say 7 people were taken to the hospital, one of them in critical condition.
We have no idea what caused the explosion. We know it did a lot of damage to the bottom of the building.
Ron Flaviano was working nearby when he witnessed the explosion, capturing the aftermath on camera moments later.
You see explosions on TV, and all I could think of was 9/11 with the smoke and the dust and everything, just on a much smaller scale. It was just glass, smoke, paper, and all kinds of stuff just coming right out of the building.
Authorities are urging people to avoid this area as they work to determine what caused the blast. But so far, police say there is no evidence of any suspicious activity. Michael.
Yeah, I hope they get to the bottom of it. Stephanie, thank you so much for that. And now to home prices climbing to an all-time high. Our chief economics correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis, is here with what's driving it and what it means for the housing market. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning, Michael. Yeah, anyone who is house hunting right now feels this sting. Mortgage rates are near their highest in years, but that hasn't stopped home values from also climbing. Prices are up 6.5% from a year ago, breaking records for the 9th time since last June. Now, this index measures prices in 20 cities, and guess what? Every single one of them is up from a year ago. The cities experiencing the biggest bounce: Los Angeles, Cleveland, New York, and San Diego. And coming in at number 1 is that San Diego that you see there, up 11.1% over the last year. Even cities that aren't seeing the giant jumps are still higher. The biggest driver right now is a housing shortage, a major shortage, somewhere between 4 and 7 million. Too few homes, especially starter homes for first-time buyers. That's exacerbated by the fact that most current homeowners have 30-year fixed-rate mortgages between 3 and 5%. Mortgage rates right now, over 7%, just doesn't make sense to sell. And there are higher values. That means that jobs are strong, the underlying economy is strong, but prices are pushing people into really tough decisions. The Fed's been using higher interest rates to stop prices from climbing, but that's yet to happen. Buyers could see some relief, Robin, with likely cuts later this year, but it's not going to be dramatic. It's going to be a slow move lower.
Yeah, but any relief would be much appreciated.
Indeed.
Okay, Rebecca. Now to baseball history changing forever. Starting today, the MLB will officially incorporate Negro League statistics into the record books. DeMarco Morgan is here with this for us. Good morning, DeMarco.
Good morning to you. And this is big news right here because for the first time ever, the more than 2,000 players who played in the Negro Leagues will forever be a part of Major League Baseball history.
It's a historic change to our national pastime. Major League Baseball, set to announce statistics from the Negro Leagues, will now officially be integrated into Major League Baseball's historical record books.
Over 2,300 players who played in the Negro Leagues from 1920 to 1948 will now have their statistics counted as official.
With those new stats come new record holders. Hall of Fame catcher Josh Gibson, who played in the 1930s and 40s, will now become the MLB's career batting average leader, passing Ty Cobb. Gibson passes Babe Ruth in multiple stats, including career slugging percentage. The decision to integrate stats from the Negro Leagues follows a years-long research project by a committee made up of experts, former players, and journalists who compiled the stats. Josh Gibson's great-grandson was on that committee.
We all know Josh Gibson had a great career in the Negro Leagues. I mean, he's considered one of the greatest baseball players of all time. But we always considered Josh Gibson a major leaguer anyway. It's just now that he's recognized in the Major League Baseball stats.
MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred saying this initiative is focused on ensuring that future generations of fans have access to the statistics and milestones of all those who made the Negro Leagues possible. Their accomplishments on the field will be a gateway to broader learning about this triumph in American history.
With Negro League statistics now added to the Major League historical record, Major League Baseball's history can be told in a broader, more complete picture.
Now, an updated version of the Major League database will be made public before the Cardinals-Giants play a tribute game to the Negro Leagues next month. But this means that Josh Gibson could be the greatest catcher and one of the greatest players of all time. And the debate continues.
That's right.
And numbers speak for it.
Sure do. We'll see you on GMA3.
Got it.
All right, Marco.
Coming up, another American tourist freed who was detained in Turks and Caicos. We're hearing from him this morning.
Plus, why experts think killer whales are really attacking boats. What's behind the surge?
And show me the money. How to find out if you're owed lost cash and when to search for it. But first, we've got to go back to Ginger.
Yes, and we've got to talk about that other part of the hazard, flash flooding. This was an issue in Greeley, Colorado. They had 1 to 2 inch hail, and that's going to be an issue going through the rest of this week for parts of the plains. I will show you that. But look, all that flash flooding with up to the half tire there. And then where we'll end up seeing more of this rain is in the exact spot where there's some 200% to 400% of normal in southeast Texas for the last month. So this is where that bullseye will fall. San Antonio, Austin, Houston, we're watching all of it.
We've got the exclusive view behind the table. Every day, right after the show, while the topics are still hot, the ladies go deeper into the moments that make the View the View. The Views Behind the Table podcast. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you on the island of Capri? Of course you're not, but you could be. Enjoying a bottle of Stile Capri by Peroni Nastro Azzurro. With friends, sunbathing on your beach towel. But you're not. You're listening to this, interrupting your wonderful Irish summer. But you could be. Peroni Nastro Azzurro Stile Capri with a refreshing citrus edge. The taste that takes you there. Get the facts, be drink aware, visit drinkaware.ie.
Following a lot of headlines right now, including Donald Trump's criminal trial now in its final phase. Closing arguments wrapped up last night. And in just hours, for the first time in history, the fate of a former president will be in the hands of a jury composed of 5 women and 7 men. Also, severe weather hit Texas. The most significant damage from Dallas to Houston, where wind gusts were 75 to 86 miles an hour. Nearly 500,000 customers in Texas don't have power right now.
And it took overtime again between the New York Rangers and Florida Panthers. This time, the Panthers came out on top after 2 straight OT losses. Sam Reinhart scored the winner to tie up the Eastern Conference Final. Game 5 is Thursday night right here in New York.
You're not getting any sleep, are you?
No. You don't even know
games.
what happened last night. I went to somewhere else last night. All right, I'll be quiet. And we got a lot more ahead, including the lucky people who ran into our Becky Worley. You're lucky just to see Becky, but when she's actually at the airport and she's giving you money and showing you how to get the money that you may be owed back, that is special. She's going to tell you how you can find some cash that could be owed to you. That's all coming up.
Okay, now to the freedom for another American tourist detained in Turks and Caicos. A judge sentenced Tyler Wenrick to time served for possession of ammunition. We're hearing from him this morning. Matt Rivers has the story. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, George. Tyler Wenrick told us that the entire time he was in court, he was just thinking about his young son, hoping, praying even, that judge would let him walk free.
This morning, American father Tyler Wenrick waking up a free man, allowed to return home to Virginia after facing a possible 12-year sentence for bringing ammunition to Turks and Caicos.
It's a huge relief. I haven't seen my son in over a month. It's been a roller coaster of emotions.
The 30-year-old arrested in April with 2 rounds of 9mm ammunition in his backpack that he says he didn't know he had. The bullets discovered as he tried to reboard a cruise ship that had stopped on the islands. Immediately taken into custody, he spent 2 weeks in prison.
Being in prison was awful. It's a mental game and it's a physical game.
On Tuesday, the judge handing down a more lenient sentence. Instead of 12 years in prison, Tyler sentenced to time served and a $9,000 fine. His wife, Jerry Ann, there with him in court.
It was just a relief and overwhelming happiness that knowing that he can come home.
Now, Tyler preparing to reunite with his 18-month-old son, Everett, sharing the news over FaceTime. Wenrick is the second detained American allowed to go home in less than a week. Brian Hagerich, arrested in February with hunting ammo he says he forgot about, freed last week by a different judge after more than 3 months in the country. He's now back home in Pennsylvania with his kids.
It's the greatest feeling in the world, just to be back here with my family. I dreamt about it for 101 days, but when you actually experience it, it is nothing short of just amazing.
And remember, there are 3 other Americans still awaiting sentencing on similar charges of illegal ammunition. The question now, with these 2 cases now resolved, is there a new precedent that's been set? Guys?
Yeah, we'll see if that's the case, Matt. Thank you for that. Now to the manhunt in the murder of General Hospital actor Johnny Wachter. Los Angeles police are asking for the public's help to find the suspects. Whit Johnson has the story. Good morning, Whit.
Michael, good morning to you. Police still have not identified any suspects in this unprovoked and seemingly random killing. So they're now pleading for more tips and information after the beloved actor lost his life over a simple car part.
You deserve a chance, kid. This morning, the LAPD intensifying its search, now asking for the public's help in identifying those behind the senseless killing of former General Hospital star Johnny Wachter.
3 males wearing masks. Weapon used, an unknown caliber handgun, still outstanding.
Police scouring surveillance videos for clues after the 37-year-old actor was gunned down early Saturday morning.
To hear the words Johnny shot, killed in the same sentence, I couldn't process.
Wachter was walking to his car with a female coworker when police say he came across 3 suspects clad in black and wearing masks trying to steal his car's catalytic converter. One of them opening fire on Wachter before driving off in a dark sedan.
You look at not just the cameras at the scene, but cameras that people approach the scene from.
He drove a Toyota Prius, which experts say is one of the most targeted vehicles for catalytic converter thefts. Thieves after the precious metals inside.
Particularly the Prius model car. Hybrids have 2 catalytic converters, and they tend to leave intact the metals at a higher quality state, and so they're more desirable.
Wachter's friends and loved ones desperate for justice.
They took an amazing human being from us. Johnny was such a gift. Johnny was everything that is good about a man.
Johnny Wachter bartended on the side but was recently working on a film. His colleagues tell us it's now more important than ever that they finish that production to honor him. Guys.
Oh, my goodness, Whit, thank you so much. Now to the mystery surrounding orcas and why they have been attacking more boats. Scientists think they've solved it. Jane Norman is here. Got the answer for us, Janae? Good morning.
Yes, guys, good morning. So it turns out the scientists just asked the whales and they got their answer. No, we have seen these videos of aggressive orcas, commonly called killer whales, attacking boats without explanation. Well, now experts, they have narrowed down the attacks to Iberian killer whales, most of them males between the ages of 5 and 18, who they seem to be, experts say, mimicking each other.
They're the so-called aggressive killer whales, ramming into hundreds of boats with thuds like this.
Yeah. Oh my God. Please go away.
Even ripping off pieces of them.
We lost both rudders.
Yeah, that's a rudder torn clear off a boat's hull. Now, after years of mystery, scientists believe they may know what's behind the behavior, claiming in a new report that the apex predators might actually just be playful teenagers.
When we examined the evidence, we concluded that there's really no reason to think that this is an attack. This is part of a normal social behavior of the orcas.
According to research done by more than a dozen orca experts, the Iberian killer whales simply enjoy playing with boat rudders and following the latest trends.
Fads are what orcas do, just like humans. They come up with these purposeless, silly behaviors that look silly to us and are probably silly as far as they're concerned.
They also believe they're acting like typical teens.
A lot of hormones are raging, your judgment is impaired, you make interesting choices.
That behavior, though, dangerous for those on board the boats. There have been nearly 700 encounters in the waters off Spain, Portugal, France, and Morocco since 2020, resulting in the sinking of at least 7 vessels.
experts now trying different measures to deter attacks, like providing real-time information about whales' location to sailors, using acoustic devices to startle the whales, and changing the rudder's appearance to make the game less appealing.
We want them to get bored. We want them to say, that's no fun anymore.
So experts also say that orcas have a lot more time to play these days because the population of their main prey, the bluefin tuna, has increased, so they don't need to spend so much time searching for food. That's why they've been playing. George, I know you were captivated by this. It's fascinating, right?
Yes. Whale play.
That's
Okay.
right.
Yes.
Well, kids today.
Whale.
Whale of a story. Yeah. Coming up, we'll save you guys. Coming up next, Becky Worley going to show us the money. There may be funds with your name on them. We're going to show you how to claim it just in time for summer vacation. We are back now with Show Me the Money. It is summer vacation season, so we're taking to the skies to help the state of California reunite people with their lost cash. Becky Worley has that story for us.
Robin, good morning. We have reached our cruising altitude, and you are now free to go claim all that unclaimed money that's owed to you. We're here at the San Francisco International Airport for another installment of Show Me the Money.
In what's expected to be a summer of record-breaking travel, we're setting up shop at San Francisco International Airport to help the state of California return money back to consumers.
Baggage claim is over here, the exits are over here, and free money is right here!
With help from state employees,
we're trying to connect people to their money.
And California's State Controller, Malia Cohen, we searched their database for all these folks who are waiting at baggage claim.
$2.45 and $1.92.
Christine had multiple accounts linked to her health insurance.
$475. That's unexpected.
Show me the money.
According to Cohen, 1 in 7 people nationwide are owed money.
They're changing addresses, they're changing jobs, sometimes they leave the state.
She says sources can be closed accounts where people get a refund of a prorated bill, rent deposits that are returned late, unclaimed paychecks from a job you may have left, even inheritances and safe deposit boxes from relatives.
Just last year alone, we returned $360 million to Californians. It's a lot of money.
Teresina had 7 hits for unclaimed funds.
Did you know about any of that?
No.
Okay, Teresina, you get a check for $59 and free pretzels.
Thank you.
Show me the money. This couple came to the airport to pick up their new Frenchie named Moss. Also picking up $1,000.
$1,000 and a new puppy.
We were making good progress with people who had no idea they had funds to collect when
someone just came by and they didn't want to go on camera. They were shy, but get this. They found an entry in their father's name for, how much was it?
That was $5,281.
Over $5,000. That's incredible.
Show me the money.
Grand total, $9,351 in this installment of
Show Me the Money! To find any unclaimed money that's owed to you, you can go to your state's website or to missingmoney.com. And remember, there should never be a fee associated with this. But how much fun to do these segments, Robin? Show me the money.
There is some real cash out there, and you can see if you have any money either by going to your state's unclaimed money website or missingmoney.com. And remember, this shouldn't cost you a dime. If a site is asking for a fee or a percentage of what you find, it's not an official government website. But the rule of thumb is, we heard, was to check it out once a year. Go back again and again and again.
Could have some money you don't know. Who doesn't like that? And who doesn't like our play of the day? Oh, we love it. And that's coming up next. We'll be right back. We're back now with our play of the day, and the Timberwolves staying alive against the Mavericks. Will Reeve is here with the highlights. In Minnesota, hopes it's one step closer to NBA history making it all the way back.
Yeah, Michael, good morning. It is still a long road to make that history as the only team to come back to win from 3-0 down in a series. But it starts with one, and that's what Minnesota got last night. It was close the whole way. What a game. Anthony Edwards there scoring 29 points. Karl Anthony Towns adding 25 of his own. He was great last night. But the big moment that everyone's talking about is this three-pointer from another zip code from Luka Doncic with 13 seconds left and the foul, which means he gets to shoot a free throw, which would, if he made it, bring the game within 2, but he misses! And the Wolves get the rebound and end up winning 105-100. Minnesota lives to fight another day, now down 3-1 in the series. Game 5 is at home in Minneapolis tomorrow night. That's exactly 1 week from the start of the NBA Finals.
All right. I went to the game last night. That's what I was doing last night, Robin. I was in Dallas hanging out with all my Cowboy fans. Thank you.
And now you're here.
And now I'm here.
There you go.
And you were wide awake.
It was worth it. It was absolutely worth it. What a great game. And I got to say, Dallas, the fans were fantastic. There's energy in the stadium. I mean, they should be very proud of their team. They still got a ways to go, though. But they thought they were going to close it out.
Yeah, right.
Yes, George, I will be napping. Don't call me.
Coming up, First Lady Jill Biden is here live. Come on back. I cannot believe you went.
And me either.
Your ticket to summer starts this bank holiday weekend at Kildare Village. All weekend there's music and we're giving away flights, European city breaks, tickets to the summer's hottest gigs and much more. Oh, and special offers on some of your favourite brands. Your ticket to summer. See KildareVillage.com for details.
People who disappear without a trace.
Where is she?
The most notorious murder cases in New York.
Pure evil.
And the most devious killers.
There's a Hannibal Lecter feel to him.
For chilling true crime stories, follow the True Crime NYC podcast wherever you listen.
Just ahead, an alert for parents. The new study on how you may be able to help reduce the risk of developing a peanut allergy.
First, look at the top stories breaking today. We start with Donald Trump's criminal trial, now in its final phase. Closing arguments wrapped up last night. For the first time in our history, the fate of a former president will be in the hands of a jury. Let's go back to Aaron Katersky at the courthouse. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, George. This historic trial is nearing a verdict. After 6 weeks, the jury of 5 women and 7 men will soon take over. First, the judge is going to instruct them on the law. That should take about an hour. To convict the former president, jurors must find that Donald Trump falsified business records with intent to defraud and to cover up a conspiracy to corrupt the 2016 election. The defense said there was no crime, insisting the documents were not falsified and any attempt to influence the election was politics, not a conspiracy. But prosecutors said Trump devised a scheme to keep voters in the dark about a one-night stand with adult film star Stormy Daniels that he denies ever happened. Prosecutors said voters may not have cared that Trump once slept with Daniels, but they should have been able to decide for themselves. And pretty soon, the jury is going to take over. A verdict could come, George, really at any time.
We will be waiting. I know you're going to be on watch. Okay, Aaron, thanks very much. Robin?
And George, we're going to turn now to the severe weather, including damaging winds and hail in the heartland and a flash flooding threat as well. Ginger tracking it all for us. Good morning again.
Hey, good morning to you, Robin. What another 24 hours we've had with 70 to 86 mile per hour wind gusts that blasted through North Texas yesterday morning. This was DFW. That American Airlines plane is not moving because somebody's moving it. That is the wind pushing it away from the gate there with those gusts closing in on 80. That was early in the morning. As it sunk south, that whole area of damaging winds brought very strong winds to north of Houston. And unfortunately, a 16-year-old construction worker was inside that house as it collapsed, and he was killed. So damaging wind can easily kill or injure you. Trees into houses and into cars could happen today, anywhere from western, south, and North Dakota, all the way down to the high plains of Colorado and Kansas. But we open up the same exact area. North Texas going to get hit again as we go through later Thursday and into the day on Friday. I anticipate they'll probably enhance these a little bit as we go into the next couple days. It's not just the damaging wind, though. You can have embedded tornadoes. You can also have large hail. Michael.
All right, thank you so much for that, Ginger. Now to a new report out on the National Institutes of Health suggesting early exposure to peanuts could help reduce the risk of developing a peanut allergy by 75%. Our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jennifer Ashton, is here to break it all down. Doc, tell us about this study.
So published in the New England Journal of Medicine evidence, peanut allergies affect 1 to 2% of the Western world. I'm one of those people, but particularly important is children, and this conception of early childhood exposure and whether that helps or hurts. This study confirms past research that it is helpful in lowering the risk. In this study, if children were given exposure to peanuts at 4 to 6 months of age in peanut butter form, obviously not hard nuts, there was a 75% reduction in peanut allergies over time by 5 years of age, by 12 years of age. If you carried it all the way out to age 12, 4 times less likely to have a peanut allergy if they were exposed early. So really significant.
Yeah, very significant. But if you're a parent, you're concerned about your kids having an allergy or developing an allergy, how should you approach this method?
So with caution, with open dialogue with your pediatrician, obviously if parents have any questions, but here's what's recommended right now. If a baby or a toddler has a severe eczema and or an egg allergy, they should be formally evaluated and tested for a peanut allergy. If they have no eczema, no egg allergy, or a mild or moderate form of eczema, testing is generally not recommended because it can show a lot of false positives. Bottom line, if parents have questions, they should talk to their pediatrician.
All right. Great advice as always. Thank you, Doc.
You bet.
Coming up on our GMA Morning Menu, Nicole Brown Simpson's sister sit down with Diane Sawyer talking about Nicole's kids.
Also ahead, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden is here in Times Square talking about her new children's book, her passion for education, and much more.
Plus, Ron Howard is here to tell us about his new movie about Muppets creator Jim Henson and about keeping up with the Happy Days gang. And Lara is here with Lori B. Got some special guests as well, Lara?
I sure do. She is here, Lori B. that is, with Clay and Harry for National Flip Flop Day to show us some fun summer shoes for everyone in the family, including the kiddos. Coming up on Good Morning America. You guys ready? Let's do this.
It has been nearly 30 years since O.J. Simpson was acquitted of the murder of his ex-wife Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. Diane Sawyer sat down with Nicole's sisters just as she did 3 decades ago. They talked about their sister, the trial, and its aftermath, and about Nicole's children.
30 years ago, the so-called trial of the century ended in that stunning acquittal.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder.
All of us began debating the role of race, distrust of police, questions about competence, and the national spectacle the trial became.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
In that courtroom, 2 families, the Goldmans and the Browns. Today, Nicole Brown Simpson's sisters say they feel the jurors didn't fully understand the harrowing progression of domestic abuse and violence. And shockingly, those secret journals Nicole kept detailing Simpson's violence against her were ruled hearsay and not allowed as evidence. And in another missing piece, the prosecutors had a potential smoking gun, a Bruno Magli's shoe print left in the blood at the crime scene. But they couldn't prove Simpson had ever worn those shoes, and he denied it.
I would have never worn those ugly-ass shoes.
The criminal trial was already over when someone found proof that Simpson was lying about the shoes. A photo. He's wearing them. This is the moment he sees that photo for the first time.
And that is a picture of you looking at Exhibit 1, correct?
It appears to be me, yes.
Okay.
At the moment of the verdict, the Brown sisters are sitting behind Ron Goldman's father and his sister Kim. And these are those sisters today, Denise, Dominique, and Tanya Brown.
We looked at your faces in the courtroom when the verdict arrived.
I was in shock. I thought it was going to be a hung jury. We were told by Judge Ito, nobody make a noise, no sounds. We want nothing. We want silence. And then I heard Kim scream, and I just thought, oh my God. But I was in such shock. I couldn't scream. I felt numb.
Afterwards, the family returned home where Nicole's children were waiting. The sisters received a firm instruction from their mother. Do not let those little children see grief on your face.
She says, put a smile on your face when we walk in the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was like always protecting them, always being there for them. And whatever was best for them is what she would always say, girls, this is what we have to do.
Today, Sydney and Justin are in their 30s, parents themselves.
How are they?
They're good.
They are.
Yeah. They're young adults now.
Yes,
they're
they
not
have
the
children.
little. They both have their own families.
No.
They're beautiful.
Do Sydney and Justin ask about her? Still, no.
But we talk about her. I mean, Justin even said, what was Mom's favorite color? You know, so he had a whole list of things that he asked at one point a couple of years ago.
And they don't ask you about their father?
No. So I don't know what kind of a relationship they had with him. I'm there to love on them, and I'm there to love on their children.
Later, a civil trial would find Simpson liable for the murders and a wrongful death claim. His punishment, to pay millions and millions of dollars to Nicole's estate and to Ron Goldman's family. But the Goldmans received only a tiny fraction of what they were owed, and it's not public what he gave his children through Nicole's estate.
Today, where is it all? The civil case verdict awarding the money to the Goldman family and to you.
No, it wasn't to us. Not to us. We didn't get a penny, just to make it clear. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it was the estate of Nicole Brown Simpson for Sydney and Justin. It's always been about the kids, you know, and so it will continue to be about the kids.
We don't know if Simpson had any remaining assets when he died, but we do know the Brown family had to watch him return to the spotlight, reveling in the attention and music videos, on the golf course celebrating himself.
They call me Juice, the Juice.
And if Nicole Brown Simpson's life had not been savagely taken, she would have just turned 65.
Oh my God, that is so. Oh my gosh, what would she look like? Beautiful. I know.
She'd be fit. She'd still be running.
Yeah, she'd be running.
I see her down at the beach.
I do too.
Yeah, playing with the kids and, you know, not the kids, but
the grandkids.
I love the videos because for me, the videos, I mean, as hard as it is to hear her speak and to see her moving and she's alive, I'm like, oh my God, that's killing me. But I love seeing it because she was just so graceful and elegant and just so sweet, and the love that she had for Sydney and kissing them and Justin. But there is one in the video that I like, and it's her with short hair walking out into the ocean saying, bye, Sydney. I'll be back.
That video. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I'll see you soon.
Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye, Sydney. We'll see you again real soon.
What a journey they have been on.
Oh, the love they have for their sister. You can just hear it in their voices.
Still heartbreaking.
The Life and Murder of Nicole Brown Simpson premieres this Saturday on Lifetime. And if you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence and you need help, please call the Domestic Abuse Hotline at the number on your screen or go to the website, thehotline.org. Now let's go to Ginger.
Thank you, George. And we want to go to Arizona, where some folks are waking up outside of their home, having evacuated because of the Simmons fire near Kearney, Arizona. So we're watching that one, and it was the hottest day of the year so far. For Phoenix, they made it to 106 yesterday. They're going to stay hot through the end of the week, and then the heat just builds, especially into parts of Utah, Nevada, Idaho, and even California next week. We'll be watching all of it.
We are joined now by First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, here live this morning to talk about her new children's book, Willow, the White House Cat. Dr. Biden, welcome to GMA.
Thank you.
Well, we can give it up. Hey.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, this is a great story. This story is inspired by a real life event. So tell us about it.
So it's the story of Willow, the White House cat, how she came from Western Pennsylvania, from being in a barn to the White House. And really, it's kind of a behind the scenes cat's eye view of what it's like to live in the White House.
We were just talking about the illustration, so beautiful. Tell us about working with Kate Berube.
Well, she came to the White House. Of course, she met Willow, and she met all the people who work there, who are so warm and welcoming and make the White House a home. And so she had her tour, and she met everybody. So I think she felt right at home like we do and like Willow does.
Of course, it's a children's book, but there's really a lesson in there for all of us, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's that, you know, learning can be fun. And reading can be fun, so that I hope that, you know, children enjoy the book. I hope that teachers use it before they come to the White House. Have you all been to the White House?
Oh, yeah. Time or two.
Okay. All right, I want to make sure that you've all
to come again.
But we've never had a cat's eye view. That's the thing.
Willow really has the best perch. This is your third children's book, Dr. Biden. What is it about writing to kids that's so special to you?
Well, you know, I'm an English teacher, and I want children to love reading, and I want children to know that reading is fun, learning is fun, and I want, you know, people to know about the White House and the people inside that make it all run, because there are almost 100 people there, and they dedicate their lives to making the White House run. And it doesn't matter whether you're a Republican family or a Democratic family. They always make everything so special for us and for the people who visit there every single day. We have thousands of people come on tours, and they make it beautiful. They make the house beautiful for all the people in the United States.
And you're so passionate about education. And
I am.
Yes, and you had the first ever Teacher of the Year state dinner. And so, you know, with your finger on the pulse of education right now, what is the biggest concern for teachers, and how can we help them?
Well, I think when I talked to teachers, and we had that state dinner, which is the highest honor for teachers, and it was so filled with joy. The whole night was just magic. And I think that teachers are always sort of thinking about their students, and, you know, a lot of students are dealing with mental health issues. I think a lot of that is due to the pandemic. And so I think that if we commit probably to acts of kindness each and every day. I try to tell my students that, and my own kids and grandkids. It makes such a difference, you know, just the little smile, maybe a pat, maybe it's that note, maybe it's something that to reach out to people to make connections.
I know we often talk about how we all have a favorite teacher and how they made an impact in our life. This Saturday, we know where you're going to be, Erie County Community College. Yes, you're the special commencement speaker. What's your favorite part about speaking to the next generation of leaders and thinkers?
Well, you know, I know that all of the opportunities that they're going to have, and, you know, 6 out of 10 children don't go straight to a four-year college, but now they have so many other pathways, and they can, we have connected learning where they can start in high school, earn college credits, and go into like cybersecurity or environmental studies or robotics. So many interesting careers now, careers of the future. And that's what I think is exciting, that students just don't have to think, oh, I need to go to a four-year college. That's not true anymore.
That is not true. Also so passionate about women's health, and we thank you for that.
Oh, my gosh.
I know in November you and the president launched the White House Initiative for Women's Health Research. Talk to me about the progress that you've seen made.
I'm so excited about that, because women's health has been underfunded and understudied for so long. So I'm sure that many of you have friends, somebody in your family, and women go to the doctors and they come away, they don't have answers to their questions. And so, especially for women who are maybe middle age or over, you know, what is menopause? What are hot flashes? Why do I feel this way? You know, why is my hair thinning? Why am I moody? We need answers to these questions. Not getting personal or anything. But now it's going to change, because we are funding the research, and I'm so excited about it, because things will change.
It is, of course, an election year. How do you describe to people watching at home what's at stake?
Oh my gosh, everything is at stake. And I think especially for women this year, you know, women's rights, our freedoms, democracy is on the line. And we have a choice. I mean, this is what I'm out there saying. We have a choice. We can have, you know, my husband, who is calm and steady and strong and has character and integrity. Or we have the other choice, which is chaotic. And I mean, if you just look at what you just reported on, the craziness of it all. So we have to decide, democracy or chaos.
We also have to celebrate you, because you cannot leave here without us all saying happy birthday.
Oh,
you have a birthday coming up, a fellow Gemini. Come on in there, Sal.
Oh my goodness! Thank you. Thank you.
We can pack goes up for you. We just want to say have a happy birthday. I know you're very busy, but hope you take a minute to celebrate yourself.
Thank you for all that you do.
Oh,
thank
thanks.
you for all that you do.
And congrats on the book. We love Willow.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Absolute pleasure. And Willow, the White House cat, will be available next Tuesday. Best perspective in the White House, everybody. And the First Lady will be joining The View later this morning.
Uh-oh, watch out.
Yeah, busy morning for you. And also, she's going to join the Hot Topics table.
You're a brave woman.
You're going to have some fun over there. They're right over there. And coming up, country star Lainey Wilson, like you've never seen her before. We'll be right back with more GMA.
Lainey Wilson, now streaming on Hulu. The story you haven't heard.
I experienced a lot of heartache. I'm a tough woman, but it's not easy.
Lainey Wilson.
It's taken me a really long time to even get to this moment.
And the CMA Award for Entertainer of the Year
goes to
Lainey Wilson.
Hey y'all, it's Lainey. I cannot wait for you to see my special streaming on Hulu. This has been a wild ride, and you'll get to ride alongside me on this journey.
Lainey Wilson, Bell Bottom Country, now streaming only on Hulu.
When it comes to winning elections, is it really the economy, stupid? Are soccer moms the quintessential swing voter? And does it matter which candidate you'd rather share a beer with? Every election cycle, cliches come easy. But are they right? In a new series on the 538 Politics podcast, we're taking a look back at conventional wisdom from past elections. Where did that wisdom come from? And does it hold up today? Find the Campaign Throwback series in the 538 Politics feed wherever you get your podcasts.
What's going on, y'all? My special with Robin Roberts on Hulu is streaming now. This has been a wild ride, and you'll get to ride right alongside me on this journey. I'll be watching it with you, and I cannot wait to hear what y'all think.
Well, that's Lainey Wilson. And she has had, well, I could say she's had quite a year, winning Entertainer of the Year from both the Academy of Country Music and the CMAs and the Grammy for Best Country Album. We were with Lainey for it all. Extraordinary access to one of country's biggest stars for a new special by my production unit with ABC News Studios called Lainey Wilson Bell Bottom Country. Lainey says this year has been a whirlwind, but it hasn't always been easy, and here's just a bit of the special.
I'm so glad y'all are here. I'm a tough woman, and I pull myself up by the bootstraps, but it's not easy. I have my days just like everybody else.
Hell yeah!
Where you gotta do whatever you can to crawl out of those dark holes.
I love you and I'm proud of you. 1 minute.
But it don't mean that it's not hard.
Red Rocks on 3. 1, 2, 3. Red Rocks!
There we go, yeah.
If y'all leave here learning anything, it's actually something I'm in the process of learning right now, and it is hard to do.
I have got to share with my fans these little nuggets that I have picked up along the way that are helping me.
It is getting up every single day with the sun, and it is looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I am beautiful, I am smart, I am talented, I am godly, I am fearless, I can do anything I set my mind to. If somebody tells me I can't do it, hold my beer, watch this. Take that home with you, okay?
Me saying it is also a reminder to myself, too. This business is crazy, and it can get dark real quick. So it was in November of 22. I was scrolling on TikTok, and I noticed a few videos of my butt that had gone viral. And then I noticed like a week later, it continued and continued. And then the next week, I was like, golly, it's still there. It wasn't just like a small little viral moment. It was a big, no pun intended, moment. I can't even scroll on TikTok on my For You page without seeing my fat butt on everything. Whatever brings the people in. However you found me, I'm happy. I'm happy you're here.
I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of how you handled it.
Yep.
you know? And you're like, whatever brings them in. Whatever brings them in.
Whatever brings them in. First of all, I'm like, how'd y'all just notice that I got a big old butt? Like, it's been back there the whole time. But yeah, I went back to, how would Dolly handle this situation? How would Reba handle this situation? And they'd laugh about it, and they'd move on with it. That's just, it's part of it. Yeah. You know, and of course, like, don't go down the rabbit hole of looking at comments. And I've learned my lesson with that.
It gets frustrating for me as a woman that the discussion about our bodies. But as women...
It is different.
I know, it is different. Is it frustrating for you?
It definitely has been. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, it has not, like, just made me feel weird, you know? But at the end of the day, you know, like, me gaining a few pounds or me losing a few pounds, it ain't got nothing to do with my story or me singing or my songwriting. Like, if you got a problem with that, turn off the radio, because you're going to be hearing me on the radio.
That was a mic drop. She really, really showed her vulnerable side during our time together. But she can handle the tough times. She's raw, she's down to earth, and we had so much fun filming for so many months with her. I think that will come across when everybody has a chance to see it.
But what about her story might resonate with people, you think? Oh, my God.
You don't have to be a country music fan to adore her. Nope. She is somebody who is, when you say their authentic self, she truly, truly is. She's down to earth. She is about never giving up on your dream. I mean, she was living in a trailer for a time. She just was relentless in her determination to realize her dream. And we talked, and also have a sense of humor about yourself. Yep. That's something else that you can take away from her. But we talked to her family, fans, collaborators who've known her for...
She let you in.
She really did. It was months and months and months, and she was so kind to everybody in our crew. And she's got a bar that she's opening in Nashville at the end of the month, at the end of this week, too.
Leagues. And I love how you were going to call it introducing Lainey, and now no need to introduce.
No, well, you saw her at the CMAs.
I did, and she's just exploded since. And it's exactly what you just said. She's the kind of girl that you feel immediately a kinship with. She's a girlfriend. And somebody who you can also look up to at the same time.
And the industry, everybody in the industry has embraced her because they know how hard she has worked 100%. And how long she's
I've never seen such love for her. Yeah. Robin, great job.
Thank you. You can see Lainey Wilson, Bell Bottom Country, streaming now on Hulu. Coming up, Ron Howard. Ron Howard is here live in our studio. Come on back.
And we are back now with Academy Award-winning director and producer Ron Howard. He has a new documentary coming out about the man behind the Muppets, Jim Henson, Idea Man. Welcome back to GMA.
Pleasure. Thank you. Good to be here.
So what drew you to Jim Henson?
Say what?
What drew you to Jim Henson?
Well, fascinating. I knew him a little bit, only in passing. I knew others who respected him so much. And yet, when I saw the archival footage and met the family and began talking about the story behind all those iconic characters, it had a lot of surprises and was incredibly entertaining. There's so much footage in the archival stuff that's just hilarious. I was laughing my way through this session of just, learning about the way he got started, the way he developed his voice, his talent, and it all reveals itself in these great characters. But the journey is, has a lot of twists and turns, and it's very, very entertaining stuff.
And that was a lot of archival footage the family gave you access to for the film. Was there anything that you sticks out as your favorite thing you found in the footage?
These really short, like 6-7 second commercials that they made. Early on, he and his wife Jane launched this company, and it was like the beginning. It was the new tech, right? It was like somebody going out there now and being a content creator. Yeah. But for them, it was these little short commercials that they did that are just hilarious, irreverent, and you can see all the stuff that you're going to wind up loving about the sense of humor, the anarchy, the craziness, the characters. Later on, you can see it in these early commercials.
Well, you have whet our appetite, so let's see a little bit right here.
He was figuring out what he wanted to do next in his life.
I was going through those sort of early times in one's life. I was breaking up with a girl.
We were kind of dating other people and everything. We had life going on during Sam and Friends.
Well, he clearly had a moment of self-doubt. Here's a track, I could stay on this track, but is this the track I want?
Gosh, this already sounds so relatable in so many ways.
Well, he's a real genius. I mean, a bona fide outlier, and he just broke a lot of new ground, and the way he did it, as an individual, and he and his wife Jane, she was so central to
What was his
launching.
genius?
Well, it was a sense of anarchy, and it was about satire. So he was an introvert. But when he would get this puppet, especially Kermit, and the evolution of Kermit is funny to learn about also, because it wasn't already Kermit. It was funny anyway. But when he had that puppet on his hand, he became this remarkable entertainer with real insight, and he would do it with fun. But he would hold a mirror up to the human experience.
But he didn't aspire to be a puppeteer.
No, he loved television. He loved the new tech. He was an introvert, but he wanted to be a part of it somehow. And he just, as an absolute fluke, he found that in the local television station, they were looking for puppeteers. And he was an artist. He was kind of a boy genius. And he just said, okay, I'll make a puppet. Went down there, auditioned, got a gig, doing puppet shows. And that was the door that opened for him.
So, and I want to touch on Jane. You mentioned her, but I think people would be surprised to know her role in sort of building the empire, if you will.
Foundational, and they've got a really interesting relationship. In the beginning, their romance is kind of built around creativity and these puppets, and as life gets more complicated, ironically, the thing they created ultimately caused friction and caused them to drift. And, and that's a part of our story too. And the family made all of that information available to us through their interviews, and also access to these these archives, which was remarkable. I really appreciated how much they trusted me.
I mean, you say it is remarkable. And another thing that's remarkable, 50 years ago, Happy Days. 50 years ago.
Unbelievable.
And we saw it. We all absolutely love that. Love you. And we saw that you and Henry Winkler had like a little mini reunion. Do you keep up with him and the other castmates on a regular basis?
Well, yeah, we actually have a little thread, a little thing going on all the time about who's doing what and what's going on.
Potsy.
Yeah, we see each other. Oh yeah. That was a bond. It was a great time, and I think our boss Gary Marshall was such a great leader, and he wanted us to have careers beyond the show, and everybody has remained so active and busy.
You've done that.
Thank you for coming in.
Always a pleasure.
Love your passion. Love your passion.
I'm still enjoying it. Thank you.
Wow.
Jim Henson, Idea Man, premieres Friday on Disney+.
Monday, Tuesday, happy days. Wednesday, Thursday, happy days.
You can pick it up, Ginger.
I want in on that Happy Days group text. That's what I want in on. I want to see more of that. Okay, so we are so excited, and thank you all so much. We are pumped for Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes, it hits theaters in July, and in the meantime, we're getting some insight into the bromance between its stars, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. They are each on a cover of the new issue of People, which team up to form a new image. They also did a one-on-one interview for People, and they talked about the things that they have in common, like both being named People's Sexiest Man Alive.
And it was great that you got it. I mean, I did a lot of campaigning for you.
Yes,
I don't know, do you know about what happens behind the scenes?
Yeah, weirdly, that's such a weird super PAC. To have the People's Sexiest Man super PAC. Like, apparently, there's hundreds of millions of dollars in that super PAC.
There's a lot of money.
Propping people
There's a lot
up.
of money.
Yeah.
And the smart money wasn't on you. And I said, you're wrong.
No, every year it's Hemsworth or Denzel.
Sexiest Man lobby. I love it. The new issue of People is available on newsstands nationwide Friday, and you can see more at people.com. Wolverine and Deadpool hits theaters on July 26th. We can't wait.
And now we can't wait to share the brand new Moana 2 trailer that just dropped. That's right. Here's Moana herself with a special message to introduce it. Check it out.
I'm so excited for Moana 2. Check it out right now.
borrow from the ancestors, to sail to new skies, and reconnect our people across the entire ocean. Maui?
Boat snack! Oh. Boat snack upgrade? Bacon and eggs? Why didn't you bring the pig last time?
All right, we're back now with Summer Style and putting your best foot forward because it's National Flip Flop Day, everybody. GMA lifestyle contributor Lori Bergamotto is with us to help find the most flattering summer footwear. It's all shoppable as well. Hello, young lady.
Good morning. Happy National Flip Flop Day.
I know, there really is a day for everything, and I do love a flop.
Yes, indeed.
And this brand I love. These are kind of my go-to.
Well,
Javianas.
That's right, and you are not alone. This is the best-selling flip-flop brand in the world.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, with over 250 million pairs sold globally.
They're very comfortable.
They come out of Brazil. Yep, they're comfortable, they're cute. And people love that they have this non-slip grip here, right here. They're really great for the beach. I mean, they come out of Brazil. They know what they're doing when they talk about going to the beach, right? And they come in a rainbow of colors, Lara. We got these from Zappos, and they're really affordable. So you can buy a few pairs. I know you said you like to keep a pair in your car.
I keep a pair in my car for mani-petties.
But they're great for the beach and that non-slip action there.
Big fan.
Big fan there. Okay.
So let's talk waterproof, because a lot of you go on the water, your feet get wet. You don't want them to stay wet.
Exactly. So we are all obsessed with this brand, Hari Mari.
Yeah,
this is
very nice.
Premium quality. I want you to go ahead and feel that. If you'll just squeeze that for me. Do you feel how squishy that is?
Nice.
This actually has arch support in it. And it has
the shape is good.
The shape is great, so you can wear these all day. So this is great if you're doing any kind of a water activity where you want to be in a flip-flop. These actually will float, so you're never going to lose them. They're never going to sink to the bottom. And if you feel the strap here, a lot of people don't like that feeling of rubber between their toes. This is memory foam lined in this nylon strap.
Like a little squish to it.
Super comfortable. And people give these positive reviews all the way through. These are the Dunes. They're for men and women.
And the brand is called
Hari Mari. And let me tell you one other quick thing about them. In honor of National Flip Flop Day, every time you buy an adult pair, they're going to give a pair to kids in need.
Oh, fantastic.
So a great thing to do. Okay.
So is it really true that I didn't know the platform was back?
It's back, Lara Spencer.
Let's go.
This is trending right now, and I love it because I'm a little vertically challenged, so I like a little height in my flip flop.
Everyone likes a little
height.
height.
This is from Reef. This is a great brand. They're beloved, and again, really comfortable, squishy, and they come in all different varieties. This is the Bondi, lots of different colors, and again, it's all about that comfort factor when you're wearing a platform. So love those from Reef.
So talk to me about this little flower detail.
Oh my gosh, we love these for day to night. So this is from a brand called La Rude. These are sold at Nordstrom.
I see these guys pop up on Instagram.
They are viral. So it used to be an under the radar fashion brand, but now everybody knows about them because, like I said, you can get them at Nordstrom. They are memory foam here, so they're great to wear during the day, but this hibiscus flower, go ahead and feel that. It feels so nice. Really quality crafted. You can wear them into the night, so if you're going to get one pair that you need really
for day to night,
versatile, this is the pair to get.
And we've been talking about taking care of our kiddos, and we've got two models with us today. Hello there, gentlemen.
Two excellent models here.
Yes.
We have Clay and Harry, and they are modeling the rainbow flip-flop
for us. They're so cute. I love how little they are.
I know. So Rainbow's a great brand. They've been around for about 50 years, and they come out of California. Again, it's born out of that surf culture.
Yep.
And what we love about Rainbow is, go ahead and feel this again. It's going to give you that support right between the toes.
Yep.
They also are really, really comfortable and well made.
These are my daughter Kate's faves.
Yes, and if you have littles, like I have a very little baby, a little toddler at home, they have the back strap. And podiatrists recommend doing that for those little toddlers. So those come in the smaller sizes. These are super well reviewed. Clay and Harry, thumbs up?
Thumbs up, yeah.
Thanks, guys. What's better than that?
And Clay and Harry, excellent job. excellent job with the Jenga. All of these shoppable.
Yes,
these
and affordable.
And affordable. And it's National Flip Flop Day, everybody. Let's celebrate as we come back on GMA. We'll see you in a minute.
Show me the money. My sister, Dorothy, went looking for money for herself. She found me $90.
Yay! Lunch on Rob.
Coffee's on me.
Breakfast on Rodman.
Breakfast.
Have a great day, everyone.
For one of us.
All right, keep your $90 to yourself. Wow.